about a decade ago. I'm not good at times, so we'll just say there, about a decade ago. I found myself on the plains in the center of Sri Lanka. Odd place. But in that plain, on that plain was a huge rock towering about 150 meters high, and within that rock was a cave. That cave was the cave of Dambulla. And inside the cave were 153 statues of the Buddha, all a little bit different. Some of them lifelike and life-size, some of them bigger than life. Well, I was privileged to be able to visit that cave. And so when I went there, at the bottom there was a little museum and vendors selling lotus flowers, little lotus flowers like you see on a lily pad. And the purpose of those lotus flowers was to take them to the top, 300 steps, I think, or something like that, to the top of the rock in the entry of the cave, and then go to the particular Buddha whom you wanted to pray to and give the offering of a lotus flower. Well, it sounded kind of neat, and I was excited to go up. But as I started to ascend the steps, there were monkeys all around. They were going to and fro and crazy. They were crazy, those monkeys. Got to talk about the monkeys. So, do you guys like monkeys? Anybody likes monkeys? I see a couple of hands liking monkeys. Well, they're kind of crazy little characters. And these monkeys that were along this staircase, I mean, some of their little antics were really neat, and I was amused by them. But I didn't keep my eyes behind me, because very soon a monkey came and plucked that lotus flower right out of my hand. No more lotus flower for an offering to the Buddha. That's monkeys. And today we're going to talk about monkeys and monkey mind particularly. Now, I thought maybe this was a new age term that had come to be about 30, 40 years ago, that we use continually, monkey mind, that frenetic going on that goes on in our minds, but it's not. It's a very ancient term. And instead of monkey mind, it's really mind monkey, like a monkey in your mind. And that's what thoughts are like. Those thoughts just rage from side to side, up and down, all around, from one thing to another. And soon it's all confusion. Soon it's chaotic beyond belief. And what you really had on your mind, carrying that lotus flower up to make it, is gone because of the chaos around. So I want to talk about that today, about that mind monkey, and that goes back to Taoist and Buddhist traditions way back. And I ran across a poem. It must be Poem Day. I ran across a poem that I really like called Monkey Mind. And I'm going to read half of it to you. I'll read the other half later. And this, to me, describes exactly what happens in my mind when I can't control it, or I don't seem to be able to control it. Monkey Mind by Jenny Justice. It's too much. Please, just please. A hamster in a wheel, a chicken running wild, more feral actually, the bouncing around, the new ideas, the never finishing, the incompletes. This is the big one. This will be an overnight success. Eyes glowing, pouncing tiger, rowdy dragon, the forest, the jungle, the dirt. The ground is aching for rest. Please, guys. That's the first half of the poem. We'll get to the other half later. But let's go on and talk about monkey mind or mind monkey, that monkey that's just causing an uproar in our minds. Of course, we're talking about mind to start with. Mind is a non-physical thing, not our brain in our head, but it's that place from which all of our thoughts, all of our ideas, and all of our feelings come from. And of course, in that mind, as we spoke, are thoughts. And thoughts can be of a couple of different natures. They can be chosen, the ones we choose, or unchosen, which is what many of those monkey mind thoughts are. We just don't seem to choose them. They seem to choose us, and we can't escape them. Well, the good news is that you can choose your thoughts. Didn't say it was going to be easy, but you can choose your thoughts. In the Christian scriptures, in Philippians, it talks about choosing thoughts. It says, whatever things are true, are honest, are just, are pure, are pleasing, and are commendable. I forgot the last one. And you can add yours to it. If I were going to add mine, I might put kind in there. Or I might put full of integrity. But you say whatever those really elevated good thoughts are that you would have, what are they? And choose to think on those things. Again, not easy. I think there are three kinds of thinking. One is the thinking you're unaware of. It goes on in your subconscious mind. It's a pattern that has been running there maybe for decades because it may have started in your youth. It was chosen at one point, but after a while it's just part of the program and it's not chosen anymore. It just goes on and on and on, and it's repetitive. It repeats and repeats and repeats the same thing over and over again. And often those thoughts do not serve us very well. Some of them do, and it's good to choose them again, but some of them don't. What do we do about that? Let's go on from those unchosen thoughts to the chosen thoughts. The ones like those virtues that I spoke about a minute ago that we choose. Those ones that really match with our heart's desire. The ones that just sync up with who we are as a unique creation. That's the conscious thoughts. That's the ones we want to keep forefront in our minds. That's the ones we want to focus on. And then a third kind of thought is inspired thought. Thought that comes from within us, from the divine within us. Those thoughts that come through our intuition, in times of quiet, in times of meditation. Those thoughts come and they rise up, and we sometimes don't pay attention to them, but it's good to adopt them and choose them as well. So we have those three kinds of thinking, and they fall into a couple of different categories. If we look to our Buddhist friends, they would say there's either skillful thoughts or unskillful thoughts, and I like that. Skillful, of course, means that they're getting us where we want to go. And unskillful means they're not serving us very well. They're not getting us where we want to go. So that's what we want to talk about today. Skillful and unskillful thinking, thoughts that come from our subconscious or unaware mind, thoughts that come from our conscious mind. Sometimes we rationally put them together. And then inspired thoughts. So my emphasis is going to be on those thoughts that aren't serving us, those unskillful thoughts. And the idea is that's the monkey mind. How do we take that monkey in our mind and sideline the monkey so that we can focus on the thoughts that we do choose, that really go where we want to go? So I'm very early, I'm into the how do I do that? How do I tame the monkey mind? And I think I'm going to share with you three ways that seem to be working for me. I'm not a finished act on any of these, but they seem to be working for me. Number one is redirection. So I have cats in my house, 4 of them. And when they get on the counter or when they're climbing up the back of chairs or even on the curtains, oh gosh, when that happens, it really doesn't help to swat them down or tell them to get down. The only thing that works is redirection. Go find that toy that they really like and begin to wave that in front of them and to redirect that cat. Well, I think we're much like that. When we have these monkey mind thoughts and we don't know what to do with them, we can redirect. In other words, put our attention in a different place. So let me think of something in my life. I'm not a spring chicken. And sometimes I think we're getting is that better? Better closer. We're trying to get a little more volume on the virtual side of things. When I think about, oh, my body is a little creaky, I don't think I can do that. I might have to have a hip replacement at some time, or maybe a knee replacement. No brain replace. No comments from the peanut gallery here. Well, that might be a good idea, but I don't think that's going to work. We're going to redirect the brain. So when that happens, I can choose to just go with that thinking that I've accrued somewhere along the line that I'm getting older and it's going to be harder and harder and I'm not going to be able to do this and not going to be able to do that. Or I can redirect my thought to the idea that my body is really a very strong organism, and science will tell us that. Our bodies can outlast the rest of us for quite some years. I can redirect my thought to that truth. It's a little hard, it's a little work, because I'm still feeling the pain in my lower back. I'm still thinking, that's a big job I got ahead of me. Or after the job, I'm saying, well, that really took it out of me. I was working with Ram on Tuesday, and we were taking a sledgehammer and pounding some pipes into the ground for a foundation for a new greenhouse. And when I got done and when I got home, my thoughts were, yeah, you guessed it, how tired I was and how much that took out of me. But what if I were able to redirect my thoughts and say my body is going to be there for whatever I need it to be there for? My body is whole. By nature, it's whole. If there's some deficiency, healing is available for me. I would redirect my thoughts, and you know what? When I'm able to do that, it makes a real difference. Sometimes I get inspiration. Here's the next thing to do to help your body. Sometimes I just breathe and realize that I am created perfectly and that health and well-being and strength is my natural inheritance. So that's the one thing to do. Mark that down. How do I do that? Redirect your thoughts. And you can take whatever example that's in your life. Notice that when you redirect, it's kind of similar. It's just kind of the opposite, the flip side of what you can do. Next is replacement. You can replace that thought. You can take that thought that's not serving you, that unskillful thought, and replace it with something that does serve and does take you in the direction you really want to go. It's not an easy one either, but it can be done. Let's take another example. Don't tell anybody else, but I'm going to share a little bit about me. This is a confession, really. I'm in the confessional booth with you. Sometimes when I'm out and about, The lure of the Bashas' donut counter just won't escape me. Now, I know that Bashas' donut is going to give me a good feeling. It's going to taste good for a very short time. So, what my challenge is and what I'm working on, not only this example, is to say, I'm replacing that thought with, that donut tastes good. I owe it to myself. I ought to be able to have a donut. Replace it with saying, I see me as a healthy, slim, trim, fit, and feeling good person. So I'm replacing a thought that I have, similar to misdirection or redirection, with another thought. A conscious choice to do that. Then sometimes when I'm able to do that, whatever the topic is, an inspired action comes to me. Wow, you do have a bunch of plums at home. Just wait till you get home. You'll have a juicy plum. Or any of another number of inspired things that can help me carry out that and put into action that thought which I am choosing by replacing one that didn't work for me. And then you got the number 1 and 2, redirection and replacement. And number 3 is something that we talk about a lot, and that's mindfulness. Staying here and now, being right in the present moment, not in the past. Oh, that donut in the past has tasted so good and they make them so good. Not in the future, not where I'm creaky in my body and it's all downhill from here, but in the very present moment. Present moment that's not judgmental, that's not interfering with what is. In the present moment, that we find often in meditation or in quiet. Sometimes just being quiet is enough. I know it's difficult to be quiet. Maybe for some of the younger people, quiet is a tough one. But you know, it's really good. It's really good because out of that quiet comes an escape from the bad stuff of the past or what we didn't like, the worries about the future. Somebody yesterday told me that worry was spirit theft or something like that. Spirit is there within us all, we know. And that worry, that use of the imagination that's all messed up, is as though we're taking, our spirit is being robbed from us a bit. So in that mindfulness situation, we are able to be present. We are able to withhold judgment. We don't have, we're not on a journey to fix it. We're just here. We're just now. And in our meditation time, we'll do a brief meditation that's a mindful meditation. Again, that state of here and now and nowhere else. There is where we find we're able to open the door to the chosen thoughts that we have. Because we put the monkeys on the side for this. We've sidelined them as we stay in the present. I want to read the last half of that poem by Jenny Justice, the Mind Monkey poem. Here we go. Zero in. Focus. Look deeper. Focus. Slow down. Focus. You will not catch anything jumping around, monkey mind. You will starve like this. Channel it. Breathe it. There is calm in and out. What you really want to do can be done. Just drop all of this, and so it is.